need intermediaries, we don't even need the prophets to call upon their names to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah is addressing the Prophet himself and telling him, tell the people to call upon me, not upon the messenger, for example. Today, and I always repeat this, and I need to repeat it one more time. We all know that worshipping idols and statues is shirk. It's disbelief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and making partners with Allah. But we still, unfortunately, the Muslim community and society today have still carried certain traditions and customs from Greek theology and Hinduism and Buddhism and other sorts of ancient religions, and we don't even realize that we're committing shirk ourselves. For example, and I've mentioned this many times before, the blue eye that some of our Muslim brothers and sisters wear in the intention that, in the belief that it will protect them from harm. It's a little amulet, blue in color. Either it comes as a little blue ball by itself, very tiny, like a pea or something, or they might have it glued inside of a gold-shaped or an eye-shaped piece of gold, and they wear it around them, or they put it on babies when they're born, or they put it or they hang it up inside their car, for example, or in the door of their house or somewhere in their room, thinking that people who are jealous and people who have envious eyes, I don't know what languages, I heard the languages, who uses nazar? Which language? You say nazar, Turkish? What about, I've heard it's also Pakistanis, they use the word nazar, and Indians. So it's a common thing, no, nazar. Now the ayn is true, al-aynu haqq. Rasul said, evil eye is true. But how do you protect yourself from it? Not in this way. Similarly, the people of Ibrahim alayhi salam, they worship these idols because they wanted them to protect them from harm, protect them from sickness. Because you realized last week what we said. Ibrahim alayhi salam looked into the stars and he said, I am sick. So they thought because he's sick, he wanted to stay with the idols so they can heal him. So similarly to their belief, there's no difference between what they believed and people who believed in this nazar thing. You carve it out with the hand, you buy it, and then you wear it. How does that make sense? This is an idol. And the Prophet ﷺ said, "Man allaqa tamimatan faqad ashrak." This is in Bukhari and Muslim, this hadith. Muttafaq alayh, no doubt about this hadith. No doubt about its authenticity. Whoever wears a type of amulet, any type of amulet, believing that it will prevent them from harm, then he or she has committed shirk. Yes, brother. Anything, brother. Brother's asking, what if it's a triangle? Anything. If it's a lock of hair, if it's I don't know, a piece of diamond, a piece of feather that you found on the street. Some people, they might have a good fortune turning around the corner from their home, and they find a feather or a stone, and they say, this is my good luck charm. Any kind of charm. Anything. Anything. Okay, the Quran is a little bit different. It's not necessarily shirk. It's not shirk, but we don't have evidence that the Rasul ﷺ or any of his companions actually used the Quran itself by writing it and covering it into pieces of leather to prevent themselves. Because the Quran was sent down verbally, not in writing. The Quran was sent down verbally. And Allah told us, said to the Prophet ﷺ, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ مِنْ شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ وَمِنْ شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ وَمِنْ شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ وَمِنْ شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ. Say, as in say it, I seek refuge in Allah, the Lord of the dawn, from everything which He has created, and from the shaitans and the evil and the devils, and from the whispers of the shaitan, and from any person who has jealousy towards me. So listen to what he says, قُلْ, say. So the Quran is to be recited, to be read. Similarly, I heard one scholar give a very good example. He says, imagine you go to the doctor, and he prescribes for you a medicine, a tablet. And he says to you, take it after meals, this means 3-4 times a day. So instead, what do? You go and wrap it up in a piece of leather and you hang it around your neck. Panadol around your neck. You'll never get cured. So similarly with the Quran, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best, what we cannot go back in authenticity to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we are better to stay away from it. Yes, I know some sheikhs do this and they do have their opinion. Alhamdulillah, I'm not going to degrade any of the sheikhs who do so. This is their view and I respect their view. But this is also the view which I am upon, and majority of the scholars are really upon, past and present. Yani. It makes more sense according to the dalil and the evidence that we have. But what we're focusing on are the idols. That's something else. That's a different area. It's nothing to be too concerned about. But to be concerned about is these amulets that people wear. It doesn't matter what it is. Even those who read horoscopes, now it's become a fashion. It's become a fashion. It's a fashion for teenagers. They talk about the horoscope. And a teenager who doesn't, especially among girls, who doesn't know her horoscope, she's weird. Right? She's weird. When horoscopes were actually invented by weird people, the people who, the sorcerers from imaginary magic books and things like Harry Potter and stuff, that type of image. Okay, imagine someone walking around the streets looking like that, wearing big skulls around his neck and things like that. They're the weird people, and these horoscopes came from these types of people. And what do? We look at other people as weird because they don't know their horoscope. So horoscope is just basically telling you your life or whatever, what you represent based on the year, the month that you're born in, which is actually a Christian calendar as well. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. We know about that one. People do it. Even atheists who don't even believe in a God or anything, they knock on wood. Don't believe in God. No, that doesn't make sense. But knock on wood makes sense to them. I don't know how. Knock on wood, or to prevent harm. So knock on wood, this is actually a belief system. It's a religion. Touch wood, knock on wood, all the same. Yeah, they're all the same. I don't know what else they're going to make up still. Some people in the past, there's a new religion, and excuse me for saying this, they worship the male genitals. And they believe the male genitals prevents harm. So now you go into their home and they've got statues of male genitals inside their home. And they say, please prevent harm from us. So this is, I don't know what else they're going to come up with. So anything, Rasulullah said, anything, he left it in open. Tamima, any type of amulet, any type of whatever you want to make up, even if it's a breeze, even if it's a cloud. Some people choose their own star, their own cloud, their own whatever. Horoscopes and astrology is based on star signs and all that stuff. And this is exactly the time of Ibrahim alayhi salam, which we're going to mention today, since we're talking about it. He went to Syria and he found the people who were worshipping stars. Every person will grab a star, or they'll grab a group of stars, and they'd worship them. They call them gods, and they give them names. It actually began there, in Asham, in Syria. And today, astrology is based on that. Star signs and horoscopes and astrology is based on a belief system. This was actually a religion, which existed at the time of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Clusters of stars here, and each one's got a name. And Greek theology, had these stars as gods. They called them gods. God of what? Venus and all those other names, and Mars and so on and so forth. Mazda, the name of the car Mazda, is named after a Zoroastrian god. Zoroastrians were people who basically, they sort of worshipped fire, but they also had many other gods. And one of them was Mazda. Mazda is a god of Zoroastrians. And they also worship stars as well. So these are forbidden in Islam, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about them in the Quran, those who follow the star signs and nujum. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, كَذَبَ الْمُنَجِّمُونَ وَلَوْ صَدَقُوا. This hadith is in Muslim. كَذَبَ الْمُنَجِّمُونَ وَلَوْ صَدَقُوا. Those who read star signs and tell you of your future based on that are liars, even if they happen to make one or two, they fluke one or two, and they get it right. That's what happens to people. So these people of Ibrahim alayhi salam, that's what happened to them. They'd come and worship an idol, and that same morning or that same day, they'd go and do their business day, and they get a profitable day. Another man would get a bad day. But then he'd come to this person and says, what's this idol? Did nothing to me. The other person would say to him, but look, I prayed to this God today, and look what I got. Maybe you prayed to the wrong God.